Marketing Insights to Drive Real Results. Moderated by Valeria Flores, Public Relations Coordinator with the City of Eagle Pass. And our guests are Aide Rodriguez, Sandra Ruiz, and Madison Hailey-Fernandez. Thank you for joining us today.
Good morning, all. Give you all a second to settle in and we can get started on this marketing panel. Good morning, everyone. My name is Valeria Flores, and I am the Public Relations Coordinator for the City of Eagle Pass. It is my honor to welcome y'all here today. We have a very interesting panel, which is called Marketing Insights to Drive Real Results. This panel definitely will give you a little bit of more insight on branding, marketing, and social media. So we are in a very good place right now where we do understand that marketing is essential at any level of any business. So this is a good time for y'all to ask questions and just get to know a little bit about what each thing really means in depth. So now to transition into introductions to our panel, we'll start off here.
My name is Madison Fernandez. I am the owner of Aide Press, a digital marketing agency dedicated to helping small businesses bring their visions to life.
Hi, my name is Aide Rodriguez. I'm the Marketing and Public Relations Manager for Border Federal Credit Union. We're a not-for-profit financial institution cooperative.
Buenas tardes, good afternoon. My name is Sandra Ruiz. I am the owner of Rio Insurance Agency, been in business for 29 years. I am also the host and creator of a show on Facebook named Socializando con Sandra. So, hola, hola.
Great, so now that we know what today's conversation is all about, let's kick off with branding. Abram, can you give us a little bit about branding and the details of it?
Yes, so branding, I believe, it's very unique. You know, branding, we believe the first thing you're going to think about is going to be your logo. However, branding is a lot more extensive than that. Branding can be the story you tell, but at the end of the day, this is going to be how your consumers recognize and see you. So branding is important. It should be very thought out because at the end of the day, this is going to be your first and possibly only impression on people.
Correct. So for Madison, branding and identity really sets the stage, but marketing is what brings the brand to life. Madison, how would you describe your marketing and what marketing can actually do for your business?
Yes, so Abram is correct. Branding really is like how you're going to present yourself to your audience. And marketing essentially is how you connect what you offer with the people who need it so that they know you exist, know what you offer, and know that you're credible.
Of course. So, Abram, and to set the foundation there, what can a strong brand identity bring to a small business?
So a strong branding identity, it can be very invaluable. I think one of the things that small businesses have as an advantage is that they can really target in on their audience. They can make their branding feel recognizable, relatable to their consumers. And at the end of the day, you can be adaptable. Being adaptable with marketing is highly important. As we all know, it's a fast-moving world. Trends come and go. Being able to hop on those trends without going through a lot of red tape as far as bigger organizations, I think that allows you to take ownership and can really be a true advantage to small businesses.
How do you recommend businesses approach the consistency throughout not just social media, but also the businesses and just make sure that their employees are aware of the branding as well?
I think establishing brand guidelines is something that seems daunting, however, can be fairly simple. You know, you're going to pick your logos. I think being very intentional about where you will be seen and how you'll be seen is something to really think about. And so establishing those, having your employees, it is worth taking the time to train them. I think branding can also be why are people buying things from you? Why are people using your services? And so having everyone become an advocate for you is a really strong way to make sure that everyone's on the same page. Training, advocacy, having your own employees buying into what you're doing is very important. And it also can bring that consistency wherever you're seeing, no matter who's talking about you, and that story gets shared with the consumers as well.
Correct. So can you further elaborate what a brand guideline is, just to everybody?
Yeah. So essentially, your brand guideline is going to be, it can be as simple as the colors. There's even color codes that you can establish, border FCU. We actually went through a rebranding in 2018, and so that's going to consist of different types of logos, different types of colors. Of course, whenever you're doing the branding, you're thinking of the initiatives. Your logo may tell a story in its own about what you currently do. So all those things need to be intentional. So your guidelines is, when are you going to use these logos? When are you going to use certain type of files? Is it going to be a color digitalized logo? What is that going to look like? Or do you have a version that can go to print that may not be something that can go onto a screen? Rather, it's going to go on a polo, whether it's going to be on somebody else's flyer that you're supporting. So being very intentional on when you'll use certain logos, why you'll use certain logos, being intentional on colors, understanding that sometimes you just get black and white. You don't get to use colors. That is all important. So being very intentional, writing it down, sharing with people. If you're supporting another event or working with another organization, makes it really easy to put it on one page, share it with them so that they can also easily understand how to use your logo, your branding. And it just, again, goes back to the cohesiveness on everything that you're doing.
Correct, across the board. What strategies do you recommend for getting the most impact out of limited marketing resources?
I think, the biggest thing is reaching out to your consumers. I think whenever you think about how to sell to somebody, it's also, what are their needs? And so being relatable, being present, going out, believing in your own product, I think is something that is very needed in a small business. If you can be your business's biggest advocate, if you have employees and you can take the time to make your employees your second biggest advocates, they're going to share that with everyone they come across. As we all know, in a smaller community like this, we may be limited on resources as far as you're in, so you may not have big budgets, but then there's also not the most resources for media channels as well. And so sometimes word of mouth, being present, supporting other organizations, supporting other businesses that are going through the same daily things as you, being present for the community, I think all those things are solid strategies that really don't cost a ton of money, but can use a little bit of time and will be invaluable in the future.
Correct, thank you. Let's dive a little bit into social media, which is, of course, one of our biggest marketing tools nowadays. Ms. Sandra, from your perspective, why is it important for a business to establish a strong presence on social media?
Well, I think social media is today. It's in our hands. I'm sure it's in the majority of your hands right now. I wanted to elaborate a little more on the branding that has worked for me. I think it's very important that we always establish our face, our name, and our logo on the same platform. Que nuestra cara, nuestro nombre y nuestro logo sean siempre uniformes en la misma plataforma. Therefore, not changing your logo consistently, not changing your name consistently. They mentioned some of the larger Fortune 500 companies earlier today, like Walmart, like Amazon. If you will see, they go through critical thinking when they're trying to rebrand, or if they're even going to do a small change in their logo. So it's extremely important. In a small town like Eagle Pass and the surrounding areas, our face is our business card. And so it's very important that we learn to form a relationship with a potential customer, or even with customers already, that they have our picture. I still remember, I come from very humble beginnings, so I still remember the tortilleria calendar on the fridge of our home. And there it either had the Aztec painting or it had a picture of someone selling insurance or something. I know y'all are nodding because it's true. So therefore, we need to keep that in mind. Also, another thing that we need to think about on social media, because it is important for you to be on social media, whether it be on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I think it's important that we be on every platform because we want to reach the majority of an audience. But when we're doing that, especially today, we need to consider AI. We definitely need to consider AI, and we need to get additional training and resources if we're not 100% knowledgeable in that, so that we can start using that and capitalizing on that for our personal interest and the growth of our businesses. I have been in business 29 years. I'm grandfathered in the insurance industry. That means I've been in business over 20 years and continued licenses with no claims against my name and my business. So it's very important to have that kind of a background. And I mention it because that is credibility. And that credibility can also transition into the business on social media. Another thing about social media, if you have a small fear about it, because a lot of people that I meet, especially people that come on the show, they have great ideas, great businesses that are thriving, but they're scared to be on social media. When that happens, we need to break it down to them to where they feel comfortable. And we need to provide those resources or lead them to those avenues where they can obtain that training so that they're no longer fearful of being on social media, because it is a great tool. But once again, we are here to serve our community and the surrounding areas, and Socializando con Sandra prides itself in providing information and being a resource for businesses. All y'all have to do is look me up on Facebook. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sandra. And yes, correct, social media can sometimes be very intimidating, but it's very important as a small business in a small town to, like she mentioned, your face is really your business card. So just having a good output out there is a big thing. For Ms. Madison, for those who may be starting small, can you share a few low-cost but high-impact strategies that businesses can put into action right away today?
Yes, so that's a common misconception I feel that I see often with small businesses. They get very intimidated, whether that be by social media management or marketing, because when you hear marketing, you think big bucks and dollar signs, and as a small business, I know that that's very difficult. But in all reality, in order to build that relationship, sometimes you just need to show behind the scenes, the simple things, your day-to-day life, what it's like. Maybe you own a restaurant, so maybe show us inside the kitchen or what a typical day is like behind the register, interacting with your customers, building that relationship that you have already built in person, building that online as well, already displaying the love and passion that you have for your business. Again, with the branding tools, something that's really simple that you can do is taking your color scheme and just implementing that into your Instagram. Making your feed look a lot cleaner, using those colors and placing those logos. I like to use the four corners or in the middle, just staying organized. Easy tools like Canva and Adobe Express. A lot of photo editors have some outlines that can help you make things look nice and pretty. And the biggest one that I see a lot of people lacking on social media is engagement. Posting is not just enough. Unfortunately, it's important that we go comment in order to stay relevant on the Instagram, Facebook algorithm, and keep your posts on the feed.
Thank you. Can you give us some efforts or how owners can track what's really working and what's getting lost in their endless data? As you mentioned, just keeping rhythm is a big important spectrum of it. So can you just further elaborate on it?
Yes, so I know that we have Facebook Meta. Most of you, I would hope, have that. If you don't, that's a really great tool to track analytics and see how your business is doing in the past 7 days, the past month, past week, and I think it goes up to 6 months. So that tracks all of your engagement, and that's a really great way to see numbers. But one of the biggest things I would also recommend is not to get lost in these numbers. Don't focus too much on how many likes you're getting, how many views you're getting, because I have seen some businesses maybe get 10 likes on a post, but they're bringing in 2 new clients because we are in a small town, so don't expect thousands of, hundreds of likes to be pouring in for a small business. What matters is building that relationship and bringing in new clientele. So I would also recommend asking each time you get a new customer or a new lead, how did you find me? And that will probably get to the direct source of where your clients are coming in, and you can figure out what your strengths are and where your weaknesses are and move forward from there.
Correct. Thank you. For Ms. Sandra, so we do know that a lot of influencers or businesses are creating partnerships. What do you think are the benefits and how valuable are these connections?
Definitely. I think the word collaboration is key. If there is a market that I'm looking to get into, whether it be in insurance or in education, because I also work for Southwest Texas College, if there is a market that I want to get into or transition into, I will look into a collaboration. A collaboration doesn't mean that you have to form a partnership or share your revenue, but what it does mean is that you will be tracking a larger audience. So let's say me that I'm in insurance and I want to be able to get new customers and collaborate with someone, I will definitely consider collaborating with a local dealership, which is something that's already in the works. We're going to collaborate with a local auto dealership so that when we can form that collaboration, we can advertise together, we can create events together, and at the end of the day, he's selling and I'm selling, and it works for all of us. Also, on social media, collaborations are key. Don't forget that. Collaborations are key. Why? Because you are extending your brand, your name, your product to a totally different audience that you may not be marketing all the time. If you go into your Facebook page and your feed is just feeding you the same thing over and over and over again, I guarantee a collaboration will switch that up for you to get a whole new market, whole new traffic on your feed. So today, that is your homework. That is your homework for today. Go home and think of a collaboration that you can form on social media that will benefit them and will benefit you.
Thank you. And yes, correct. I think collaborations are a big way to just get a different scope of people. So yes, thank you very much. Abram, can you provide us some strategies that can get the most impact on limited marketing resources for our small business owners?
Oh, absolutely. Again, going back to putting your feet on the ground, going to consumers. As we just mentioned, collaborations are key. We've done a lot of different projects with other organizations at Border Federal Credit Union. Something we do pride ourselves, obviously. We're owned by our members, which are only consisting of people from our community. So we do always love to collaborate with other folks. But, I think that's the one thing is Hailey kind of mentioned as well is not everything you do is going to bring the biggest results ever. Even some things that you think are going to be very impactful, but I think that's the other part is stay consistent, keep chipping away at it, and you'll eventually see those results. But using different softwares that Hailey mentioned as well, I think things like Canva, these picture editors, image generators, things of that nature, they're only getting easier. Things like ChatGPT to help you guide those. I would warn against, using it as a crutch. People can see as we get more familiar with AI and you're getting more used to seeing it on social media, people are going to know right away when you're posting something and you're copying and pasting it directly from ChatGPT onto your social media. So you also don't want to make yourself seem inauthentic. I think that's the one thing with small businesses here in a community like this. Everyone does know each other. And so if you're coming off unauthentic, that can be seen as a bad thing and may get you exactly the opposite of what you're really striving to be. And so taking advantage of these tools, being cautious, but they're out there and they're not nearly as daunting as you would think. I always tell people whenever I talk to them about using Canva. I love Canva. I know between myself and our marketing assistant, Brianna, we literally have thousands and thousands. We've been using Canva for about 8 years now. And so that product, I say, if you can use Word, you can use Canva. And sometimes you just need to get a message out, as I mentioned earlier, being adaptive, catering to the needs of the members. If you can whip something up in a couple of minutes, it's definitely worth taking the time to do that.
Correct, and I know Canva does also have really cool features that, it might take some little bit of time to evolve and get to know the app itself, but there's definitely a lot of YouTube University that can teach you a lot of great
Yeah.
things, mostly as a small business owner. It definitely helps to get Canva and onto apps like that to really get the most out
And
of them.
I think that's an important part is with small businesses, you're not alone. Everyone's going through these same struggles. That's one part I love being part of a credit union is, as you know, there's credit unions everywhere. But we all have go through the same struggles. We all go through the same successes. Same thing with small businesses. A lot of you can learn from each other, building networks, meeting some people here doing the same things as you. You don't have to conquer everything by yourself. Using a team, even if it's somebody from a different business, it is very important. And so networking, sharing those little tricks and trades, it is. But, using online communities as well. I mean, I'm probably on Reddit more than anything, and I'm just like constantly reading things that how to improve. So again, use those free resources. They're in places that, you may not expect, but at the same time, a lot of this is more accessible these days.
Correct, thank you. And a question to our panelists, whoever would like to answer, I guess just really simple, how many times do you think a small business should be posting a week?
Oh, a week, wow. So definitely you need to have some kind of posting activity at least 3 times a day.
Okay.
On social media platforms, 3 times a day, make that key. Whether you break that down to the morning, the lunchtime, or in the evening, or some of you, like myself, I have a full-time job during the day, so I'd like to post in the evening. That is one thing. Another thing that I recommend, aside from posting, if you're not going to be posting 3 times a day, use the standard tool of forming not just your platform page, but also groups. So I personally have my social media personal page under Sandra Ruiz. Y'all are welcome to send me a friend request. And then also I have a social media Facebook page under Socializando con Sandra, which is a fan page. And then I've created 2 different groups. So when I say I'm going to post 3 times a day, doesn't necessarily mean I'm posting to all the same page. Sometimes I just may do one post and share it amongst all the different platforms, or sometimes I just choose to use a certain group or my fan page to promote other businesses. If I see something really attractive that's going to benefit our community or an event that's going to help our community, I will go ahead and post it on our fan page and share it there. But I invite all of you to follow me on social media, Socializando con Sandra. I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok. But definitely, it has helped me. And I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty much an open book when it comes to my community. I do get paid from Facebook. I do get paid. I do get paid twice a month. A deposit will hit my bank through Facebook. And I don't lie about that, and I'm honest about that because some people don't like to disclose it, but I don't mind it. Why? Because I am promoting my community. I'm promoting businesses around my community, and this is a labor of love that grew out of COVID. So for every business that advertises on Socializando con Sandra show is at no cost for Eagle Pass. We do get paid for advertising outside of our community or for special events that we may do. But for Eagle Pass, it's a labor of love, and I want to see every other business succeed. I want to see every other entrepreneur say out there, yes, I've been in business this long also. So definitely when it comes to social media, use it as a tool and use myself as a resource. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for being transparent about that. But it's true, I know a lot of social media platforms are already to a point where you are earning money off of it, so it is a good place to start. Somebody might be interested in what your day-to-day looks like at your business. They might be interested in opening it somewhere else. So it's good to know, and thank you for being transparent about that. I'll open up any questions at this time for anybody who would like to ask any question to our panelists.
I'll actually just touch on the last thing we
Yes,
did ask.
please do.
I think it also, the philosophy, I think that's a tricky question, I'd imagine Hailey has an opinion on this as well, Madison. Because I think it also depends on the type of business that you're doing. Obviously, Ms. Sandra, her business is to promote other businesses as well. And so that's going to be a lot more consistent posting than somebody like Border Federal Credit Union. We typically try to post no more than 4 times a week. So we're almost like on the opposite spectrum. But again, there's different strategies. Find the strategy that works for you. Banking isn't the funnest thing in the world. However, we find our different moments. We have plenty to share, but at the end of the day, it is finding your little niche. If posting 3 times a day does work for you, run with what works for you. You say, this isn't law. Like I said, what I do, again, this goes back to our branding guidelines. We try not to be oversaturated because, again, we are in your face a lot. Border Federal Credit Union goes to a lot of events. We participate in a lot, and sometimes, there's a point where people can get tired of you, and so trying to find that nice little balance in there to where when you talk, people listen. That's another important. If I'm constantly spitting messages at you, it's going to be a little bit easier to kind of shield some of those and not give yourself the full attention. But our philosophy is quality over quantity, and so again, find what works for you because I don't think there's an absolute right or wrong answer.
I think that's correct. Similar to Sandra, I help promote businesses, so there's something different every day. There's every post, whether that be photography, helping out a small business. So definitely, I think for us, the posting could never stop because there's always something that I think our communities would love to see. But what Abram said was completely true and to what I have seen. I think I would go a little crazy too if I saw Border Federal posting something every 3 times a day. I don't know that they could come up with so much content, but it is finding your medium for your business. Sit down and think to yourself, okay, what does my business offer? How creative can I get with this? What do I think is funny? What do I think is interesting? And talk to your family and talk to your friends and just get real, raw opinions and try your best to apply that to your business and think, what would I want to see?
Right.
I have one additional comment before we go to the questions real quick. I decided today to sit at a table where I knew no one because I wanted to network and meet. I met 2 new gentlemen this morning here. They can wave by. One of them is in advertising and the other one is in air conditioning and refrigeration. When I said my name, it didn't click. But then I said, Socializando con Sandra, and Mr. Lopez said, oh, you're the list lady. And I have traveled to West Texas, to the Valley, to our region, and people recognize you by the hola, hola girl, or they know your catchphrase, oh, besitos en bendiciones. So, come up with something catchy, come up with something original, and I guarantee you it'll work for you. It will work for you. I'm not going to make everybody stand up and do the hola, hola dance right now, but, whenever you have a chance, learn it because you never know when we're going to catch you on camera, okay? So thank you very much.
Thank you. I guess for y'all as well, so how do y'all plan on keeping it fresh or when it comes to making sure that, you're not just posting the same constant content, so making sure that you keep it fresh. So what are some good ideas for the business owners?
For us, we use posting guidelines. So essentially, as I mentioned, we try to post about 4 times a week, and so we use broad topic ones, so these can be posted at any time. Again, Border FCU is unique, and since we have promotions, we have so many different services to offer, and so we highlight things that we're going to post. So we're very intentional, make things out about 3 months so that nothing surprises you. As you all know, holidays, things of that nature. Any way you can relate to members is we call them members, but any way you can relate to your audience in any way, those things are something you should plan on. Again, we're in the banking, but we use national holidays, things like that, play on those things. One of the biggest successes we do see, and it's something that I think anyone in this small business can relate to or use on their own, is highlighting your employees. I think, as we lose newspapers and things of that, I still remember I'll date myself a little bit, but I still remember cutting out pictures of the newspaper and putting them on the refrigerator and things of that nature. You don't see that as often, but you do see it in a different form. It's whenever you're sharing the successes that you see. If a business posts your friend and you see your friend on that business page, not theirs, but the business page, and you know that person, it does entice something in you. It makes you feel good.
You engage
It
with
makes
the
that
post.
exactly. You can relate to that. All of a sudden, I do know this person. So posting the people that are your employees that really, again, should be your biggest advocates, those can be really big successes. I know our employee anniversaries, we make a point to do those. Anytime we do post those anniversaries, we see a lot of engagement on that. And so, again, it's working with what you have, and again, making your own employees and yourself your biggest advocate.
And stuff like that also builds credibility as a business owner, because you see people have been working there. I've seen posts for like 5, 10 years even,
30.
stuff like that. And that makes you think like, wow, they must really be great to their employees.
Yes.
I would want to work at a place like that. So just really building what your work life is like and what the environment is like, and your passion, sharing that with your people. A lot of us have these creative ideas that they're afraid to share with the world, but that's honestly the best thing you can do. And I think that's how the most successful businesses make it, by being a little out of the ordinary, a little weird.
I want to mention on that just real quick. What has worked for me personally is keeping it real. When I go live, the people really want to form a connection with me. They want to feel like they know me. So when they see me at HEB, they ask for my children, or, hey, I saw that your son graduated, and they celebrate with me. So whenever something big is happening in my family or in my business, or in my life, I will try to post something about it, because I think that will always keep that engagement with my viewers. They want to know Sandra Ruiz. They want to know what makes her tick. They want to know everything about her. So if it works for me, it's going to work for you. You want people to know you and know your business. I always like to post also that I'm about business. Let's talk business. I want to know your business. Why? Because it's a play on words, because I sell insurance. So yes, I want to know your business. I want to be in your business because I want to form a part of what you're doing in your life. So I think also being transparent, being real, and also when you go live, be present in that moment, because that's what people really enjoy seeing. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And to just wrap it all up, and if there's no questions, can you all give us some really good insights for tips and tricks, softwares, platforms, anything that you all would want our attendees here to know about?
I think the number one platform that everyone here should be using is Meta Business Suite for sure. It includes the analytics. It also includes a calendar that has everything from national holidays to like National Hot Dog Day, everything that's random and trending with today's events. It also suggests, I believe, trending audios and things like that. So that is super helpful. And Abram mentioned Canva earlier. And another similar one is Adobe Express. Very similar. Honestly, just need to find what you feel is a good fit for you. But they both have AI features that have made creation super easy. And once you establish your brand kit, you can just go change the colors on any template. Very simple. Let's say you're a small business restaurant, you can look up menus, and there's a number of different types of restaurants with different types of food, and you can easily swap that out. Also, CapCut is a great entryway to videography. It has lots of templates and also has an explore page where there's lots of creators and small businesses who will share what they're doing at the moment, and that's a really great way to drag inspiration from different parts of the United States, because we are a border town, so our view is a little bit niche in that sense. So finding a medium that you can connect with the general public while also really targeting our community is a bit difficult, but apps like that are super helpful. So just batch and repurpose content. You can take one photo and use that in a graphic, use that in a video, make that into an animation. The goal is to be minimizing your work and maximizing the quality and the amount of work that you can pull out of it.
And for me, I'll actually second exactly. My home tabs is Canva, the Meta Suite. One thing you didn't mention that I love about Meta Suite is that you can connect your Instagram, and so you're only posting once, but it does go to both places. Touching on the being relative to your community, one of the things that going back to keeping a cohesive branding, if you look at I mentioned we did a rebrand in 2018. That also, at the same time we changed our logo, we changed our website. So if you look there, you can see the cohesiveness go from the logo into our website. And we actually have a banner back there. Across the top, you see almost like a Talavera tile. So that was something that I created myself because I thought it's something that our community, being Border Federal Credit Union, is something that we can all relate to and also has a bit of class to it as well. And one of the successes we had is that we've opened our newest branch here in Eagle Pass on El Indio Highway. And if you go to the building, the first thing you look through those glass is going to be that Talavera tile that's there. Again, keeping it cohesive. Once you walk in, there's some branding up top that shows the communities we serve. But if you look at the background, it's actually the same design that's on our website. So again, keeping all those things cohesive, again, making sure that our Instagram page also carries it. The background of our Facebook page is actually the tile as well. So keeping all those through from physical down to digital, I think it's very important, and it's something that anyone can easily do.
Ms. Sandra, any tips, any tricks?
So we're all here today because we love our businesses. I truly believe that small businesses are the heart of our community, and especially of Texas. Sí, los negocios pequeños somos el corazón de nuestras comunidades. Ok, grábense eso. Estamos aquí hoy por una razón, porque nos importa nuestro negocio. We're here because we're passionate about our business. So the end game of it all is to make money. Let that sink in. That's our end game. Let's make money. If we can make money together, today I will be collaborating with the two gentlemen that I met today, exchanging business cards, exchanging QR codes. Why? Because I want to make sure I'm collaborating with them, and I'm excited to have met them today. But let that sink in today. Our end goal is to make money. So let's find resources, especially like the SBDC, which I have used before personally. Tap into that resource. We do have many. A lot of them are, on the tables here at the end of the building. Make sure you go by and pick up their business cards. We never know when we're going to be able to utilize them. But definitely today, exchange Facebook page or exchange your social media platforms with the people sharing at your table so that you can grow an audience and that we can all be making more money. Thank you.
Thank you, and correct. I hope you all took notes of all those great sites and tips and tricks that they provided. If we don't have any other questions, then we'd like to wrap it up, and thank you to our panelists.
Thank you.
And ultimately, correct, we're here to grow your business. We're here to support your business to make sure that you're able to successfully move from a small business to an even bigger business and then eventually get into something even bigger. But thank you all for being here today, and thank you to our panelists.
Thank you.